All right, and we are live. Hello, friends. There we go. Testing, testing. All right, cool. The audio works. Hello, hello, hello. All right, everything is set up at 7:15 on this beautiful Saturday morning, February 1st. Which means we're going to do January wrap-up. So for this, I will be using, once again, Storygraph. If you are not using Storygraph yet, you should. It's really awesome. It's this free app which, as you're reading your books, it puts them in this cute little charts and graphs for you. It's great. All you have to do is, as you're reading, put what books you're reading. And it breaks it down by genre, author, all that stuff. Anita, B. Bernadette, Just Piggies, Alberto, Ray, thank you guys for joining. We are, oh gosh, so many. Dr. Sylvia, S. So many people. Hi, we're going to go over my January reads. Everyone's coming in so freaking early on a Saturday. I appreciate that. We're going to talk about reads, and it's going to be so much fun. Who else do we have? We have Skylar, Rachel, Patrick, Lainey, sunglass emojis, Paula, everyone in the chat. Hello. Hi, guys. All right, so as I said, I'm going to pull up my story graph for January, and we're going to go through what the hell I read. So it says here I read 5,600 pages, 17 books, so we're going to go through those. If you guys have any questions, comments, just drop them in the chat. We'll talk about it. I love talking about books. As you can see, I'm in my inner sanctum of Hazbin Hotel stuff. I'm in my office, so I'm in my good place. All right, just getting some stuff set up here. Oh, we have some more people. Chris, Jay, Moonsy, Queen, Henry, Laura, Savage, Nico, Gus, Shirley, user with a lot of numbers. Thank you guys for joining. Welcome. Thank you guys for coming in. We are just starting. You have not missed anything. All right. Without further ado, let's get to the books. So, the first book, well, I guess we're going to start backwards. So, the last book, the book that I ended January on, was called A Talent for Murder. Here's what it is. So this one was about a woman who thought her husband was a murderer, so she enlists the help of her friend, and they try to figure out if her husband was indeed a murderer. And just kind of things go from there. I'm not going to spoil any. If I am going to spoil something, I will let you know. Because there are a few books I want to, like, go deep dive into. But I feel like murder mysteries are kind of, like, lame if you spoil the stuff. This one I gave, what was it, like 3? I think I gave it like middle of the road. It was fine. Where's my review? There it is. Yeah, it was a decent one. I gave it like 3. My only thing was all the characters sounded very like the same. Every time, like, I kind of struggled because it would hop around between like different POVs. And that's fine. But you kind of have to make them all sound different, or otherwise I was like, who the hell is talking? All in all, the plot was fine, so I gave it a 3-star. Nice middle-of-the-road murder mystery novel. And there, I'm going to be organized this month, guys. I'm not going to have a tower collapse like last time. Oh, we got some more people. More usernames with numbers. Neuromama, Lainey, Alexander. Thank you guys for joining. We had an ebook arc. We had a lot of arcs this month, actually. Trying to open it up on my Kindle. By the way, if you want, there's these Kindle holders on my TikTok shop showcase. They're so awesome. I've been using it nonstop. You could literally just take it off and, like, replace it. And they, like, once you put it on there, it doesn't move. You have to, like, kind of stick your nail to, like, get it to unsuction. I like it better than those pop sockets that you have to, like, peel and stick like a sticker. So I'm trying to load up the ebook so you can see the cover. So this one is, when does it come out? When's its release date? There it is. So this one's coming out in July. Oh my god, I want the cover. There we go. Immortal Consequences. So there's that. This one's coming out in July. This is from Delacorte Press. There we go. Let me pull up my review. I gave this one 4 stars. And this is a dark academia with a twist. Where there's a lot of like... So it's like a school that takes place in purgatory. So the students there are all people who have kicked the bucket, and their purgatory is to be in this institution to like learn how to be reapers. So if that, and I won't like spoil anything because obviously this book is not out yet, but if that interests you, check that out. And also it has a gorgeous cover. Let me show you what the finalized version is going to look like. If I can find it. There we go. You can kind of see it on my screen. Nope, you cannot see that on my screen. Just kidding. Let me see if I can find a better picture that's bigger. There we go, that's better. No, it's not great, but it's going to have edges. It's going to have stenciled edges. So if that interests you, then do with that as you will. Oh, we have so many more people. Hi. Let me go and scroll up. More user with more numbers. Dami Anya, Frank, has been edits. I don't know how those are characters I don't know how to say. Bro, Sean, Justin, Michelle, Liz. Hi everybody. Thank you guys for joining. We just started. We're only like 2 books deep into 17 books. So don't worry. There's more. Because I don't really do much but read. Read and collect has-been stuff. Alright, so... Man, I thought I put these in order. Yay! My tower collapsed. That was what I was hoping wouldn't happen. Oh well. Every month it happens. It's fine. So the next one I have was The Prince Without Sorrow. There it is. This one's coming out in March. I had to laugh because when I showed this book, somebody made me laugh because they're like, oh, hey, Radio Apple vibes. I'm like, okay, not what this book's about, but it just made me giggle. Anyway, the cover is gorgeous. It has this beautiful snake with wings and then a deer. So let me pull up my review here. This is part of a trilogy, by the way. So this is the first book that's coming out. It's going to be a trilogy when it is all finished. And this one was from Harper Voyager. It had a lot of world building. The magic system was interesting in this. Basically, they had a word for it, but their version of witches were being persecuted and being hunted down because the person who is in charge of this didn't like magic and was like, no. And so the one witch curses the king, and then the king dies, and now the son takes over, but the son is a pacifist. And so we get to follow how that plays out. So there's basically 2 main characters. We have the witch who curses the king, and then we have the son who is a pacifist. And it was an interesting read. I gave it 3.5 stars. It had a lot of like philosophical discussion and things like that. So it was a very interesting book. If something like that interests you, it's going to be coming on sale in March. Sorry if I'm talking kind of fast. There's a lot of books to get through today. And it's like 7 o'clock in the morning. Who do we have? Michelle, Jared. Thank you guys for joining. We are still talking about the January books. All right, there we go. All right, next up we have The Meadowbrook Murders. If I can get this to open. And this one I think is coming out really soon. It is. Okay. So this one is coming out the 4th of February. So if you like this one, it's going to be out very, very soon. They sent me a finished copy. So this is the finalized version of what it'll look like. So this one takes place in a college. There was a murder on campus. The roommate went home to her campus dorm, wakes up, and her roommate is dead. And then we get to follow along. It's again multi-POV. A lot of these are multi-POV. As they go through the whole mystery of trying to find out who did it. Who, did the roommate do it? Did somebody else do it? Who killed her, who killed her roommate? It's interesting. It's a very, it's a cookie cutter murder. It's, pretty obvious by the end who did it. But, I don't know, if you like murder mysteries and you like kind of that, it's not dark academia, it's just standard academia, it's just out of college. I think you'd like it if you enjoy that. It was pretty plain for me because I read a lot of murder mysteries, so I gave it 2.5 stars. I kind of wish there was a little bit more character development in it, but it was fine. I think it was a decent book. Again, 2.5 stars. It was fine. All right. Next up is the book that everyone was anticipating for this year. Onyx Storm. Look at those edges. It's gorgeous. Did anyone else have a favorite character? Because mine was Riddick. Riddick came out of nowhere with the bomb-ass quotes. I won't spoil plot stuff, but I am going to talk a little bit about, some dialogue shit that happened in here. Okay, and maybe I'll spoil a couple things, because I want to talk about Violet's, second signet. But that's it. I won't spoil, plot shit. But yeah, Riddick had all the fucking great dialogue. That man was, risen it up in this fucking book. I was like, damn, why did she give... Rebecca gave all the great dialogue to Riddick in this. And I was like, okay, girl, save some for the rest of the characters. All the tabs that I have in this book, I don't know if you can see my tabs. I feel like at least maybe 60% of my tabs are Riddick being fucking hilarious. If anyone else agrees with me, show of hands. But it was I was fucking laughing because Riddick was just amazing in this. I won't say what Violet's second signet was, but I was just... It fit her, but I was disappointed. Maybe in the next book it will play a bigger role, but I was disappointed. I kind of wanted something a little bit, more impressive. But we'll see. Maybe in the next book, it'll be something super impressive. I don't know. Who do we have? Jose, Kristen, Cody, Chuck. Thank you guys for joining. We're talking right now about what was my most anticipated read for this month, Onyx Storm. I actually went to a midnight release for this with one of my friends, and I was so hyped about it. I have 3 copies because I wanted to make sure I had one to tab, one to put on my rainbow wall, and then I have a Waterstones edition, which has different edges than this. But yeah, and I really love what they did with this. I'm glad that they didn't leave it plain like they did with Iron Flame. I was really disappointed in Iron Flame that they just had the plain black edges. So I'm hoping for the next book they do something similar to this with another pattern. But I gave it 5 stars. This was amazing. I consumed this book so fast. And I know now that she needs the space to write, and I get it. We're probably not going to get another book for another, 2 years. I totally respect that. But at the same time, I'm sad. But I'll get over it. The next book that I finished was Her Soul to Take. This book is the special edition version with the pretty edges. It's so pretty. It also has pretty end papers. Look at this. And it also has a pretty hardcover. And this is the one on Amazon, by the way. You don't have to go get this somewhere special. This is just Amazon. You can go get this. Look at it. A reverse dust jacket. What the fuck? So, yeah, if you look up Her Soul to Take, either deluxe edition or special edition on Amazon, you can find this. Go get it. It's so good. This was another one of my 5-star reads. I didn't have many 5-star reads in July. I don't know. I was kind of feeling very fickle. But the plot was great. The character development was great. It was just good. It wasn't like what I was expecting at all. And I kind of want to read the rest of the books. I don't need to get into a whole trilogy right now because I have like 5 different series I'm trying to finish. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. And I'm kind of upset that the rest of the books don't have this kind of aesthetic. But yeah, if it's basically a person is getting like sacrificed to a demon, and another demon saves her. It's spicy, it's funny, it's great, and it's dark humor. It's everything that's right up my alley. But yeah, I loved it, and I think all of my like dark romance girlies are gonna love it. JCCF, thank you for joining. The next book I read was... You're probably not going to be able to see this because it's going to be too dark. No, you can see it, okay. The Lesser Key of Solomon. Why did I read it? Because it was like referenced in like 3 books I was reading at the same time. And I was like, man, I need to like read this book because if it's being referenced so many places, I hate when like someone's referencing something that I don't know. So I went, I downloaded it. It was like $1. And so I went. It's a very dry read. It's a historical text. It's a reference text. It's not anything like, it's not going to be anything that's riveting. But yeah, it was fine. It's literally a historical reference text that lists a bunch of demon names. But it was fine. I've read it, and now when people reference it, I'll know what it means. You live, you learn new things. I gave it like... What did I give it? Like, I think I gave it middle of the road. Hold on. Yeah, I gave it like 3 stars. It was, again, it was fine. It's a reference text. It's just like a textbook. Alright, next up I have... They're out of order again. Alright. So this one is also from our friends over at Harper Voyager. Sorry, I want to make sure I say the right publisher name. Oh, this one just came out. So this one just came out a few days ago, January 28th. The Legend of Menica. It's very pretty. I love this cover. It's so colorful, and the art style, I think it's absolutely gorgeous. This one I rated a 4.25. It was really high up there. Another one of my favorite reads this month. It's a very rich story, and it integrated a lot of Hindu mythology, which I don't get a lot in a lot of books. Normally there's a lot of like Greek mythology, a lot of Roman mythology, but there isn't a lot of like Hindu mythology put into books. So I was really interested in that. So, and it said that in the description. So I was like immediately like, oh, that's interesting. So that's one thing that drew me to this book. It had immersive world building. The characters were so well written. They were all so distinct. So earlier how I said like a book had very like bland characters that you couldn't tell who was who, this is completely different. Every character is so well written. Basically we have our main character who works for a god, and her job is to take down a person on Earth to try and like get him to like succumb. So she's like, I don't know, what's the word that they use? They're like dancers. They're like, they're weapons, they're warriors, but they like dance, and it's like seduction is their weapon. I'm not describing it correctly, but because they have like words for them that I can't pronounce. But it's amazing. It's such a rich, colorful story that then, turns into romance. It's such a vibrant tale, and I loved it. It was so good. This was one of my favorite reads this month, and it's out now. You can get it. It just released 2 days ago. Alex, AJ, thank you for joining. All right. This one is called The Last Great Heir, Feast and Famine. The cover for this is absolutely stunning. This is a middle grades novel, so this is for younger readers, but just because it's for younger readers doesn't mean that all ages cannot enjoy something. So this is about two houses. One is House Feast and one is House Famine, and every so many years they have like some sort of battle royale where their, appropriate designated person like fights it out, and then that determines the course of like the reign, if it's going to be like a year of the feast or famine. And so we get to follow the two main characters. One is like of House Feast and one is of House Famine, and follow them through that trial. Again, it's very just like standard, kind of like the young adult motif of like, I don't know, it felt very like Hunger Games vibes. So if you're used to that kind of thing, I gave it a middle of the road 3 stars, again, because it's a standard affair. Why is my app not working? There. And this one just released. That's what I was looking up. It just released on the 25th of January. There we go. So yep, January 25th. So if any of that interests you, this is now out on the shelves. All right. So like everyone else and their brother, I watched Wicked the Musical in November. Fell in love with it. And I wanted more. So I went and purchased this book. Now, I knew going into it that it was not going to be anything like Wicked the Musical. And it definitely is not. But I knew it wasn't going to be. And I'm familiar with this author's work. I've read the other book. Where is it? Put this down for a second. I've read another book by this author, and this one's also coming out in March. I read this one. This is coming out in March. This is a prequel. This is Elfie's childhood, like when she was like a very, very young child growing up. So this is actually coming out in March for anyone who's interested. And there's going to be like the finalized version is going to have like green edges. So if you're interested in that, check that out. I already read and reviewed this one. This one wasn't from this one. This one I read back in November. So, but I had it here because I wanted to reference this when I was talking about this book. So I was familiar already with Gregory's work from that book. So I knew that going into this, it was going to be dark. And that there was going to be a lot of trigger warnings and things of that nature, and that it was going to be absolutely nothing like the musical, because the musical is happy and bubbly and has a bit of a filter on it than what the actual gritty reality of this book is. And boy, was I freaking right. So I read this book, and it is not apologetically upsetting. I get upset when I see this book in display cases next to, like, things for the Wicked movie, because then it, like, tempts people and children to pick up this book. And I'm never, like, upset about people picking up books, but I feel like it doesn't properly prepare them. Because this book has a lot. It has a lot of things like obviously racism, sexual assault, slavery. God, what doesn't it have? I think I would be more harder pressed to tell you what this book does not have. It's got it all. All of the bad things, it has it. But that's the point. It's supposed to have those things. Because they're problems that are being addressed and supposed to be put in your face. So, with that being said, I gave it a 3.75 for me, the writing style is always just very hard for this author. For me, it's hard to read, hard to digest. Always takes a while for me to read this sort of book. It's a very old style of writing. Like it feels very old English style, if that makes sense. So it's always very difficult for me to read, this sort of novel. Oh, we have more people. Heart, King, Mark, Gucci, you know who it is. Thank you for joining. We're just talking about Wicked the book. This book it's very gorgeous. It has beautiful green edges. It has a map on the inside. So it is very pretty. I would just say if you're interested in picking up one of these, just prepare yourself, be ready, and it's very loosely like the musical. It's loosely, very loose. Loose as a goose. It's a good book. It's just you need to be prepared for a lot of sad times. You're not going to be happy. You're going to be in for a very lot of sad times. But then we're going to go into a happy book. Ready? Brewed with Love. So this was an ARC copy that I received. When does this come out? Oh, it's already out. Perfect. So this book came out in January 14th. So this one's out already. Isn't it cute? It's about witches. It's sapphic. So these are, it's about two witches that are watching over one of their grandmother's potion shop, and it gets broken into, and they're solving the mystery of who broke into the shop. They start out kind of like enemies-ish to lovers. It's really fun. It's just very kind of cozy romance with a touch of the mystery, trying to figure out who did it. I loved it. I'm all down for a good sapphic romance with a touch of magic. I think it was really fun. I gave this one 4 stars. It was really just a nice read. And with Valentine's Day coming up, this is a really nice romance novel. There, we needed a little palate cleanser after that deep, dark dive. Next up, we have one of another favorite, because I had a couple that were 5-star, and this was another 5-star read for me. A Language of Dragons. This is the Waterstones edition. Look how pretty it is. Look how absolutely gorgeous. I tried to make my tabs match if they were orange and yellow and blue, so I wouldn't ruin the aesthetic. But this is A Language of Dragons. This is where we had our main character, who was she's a master at dragon languages, and she, after getting caught doing something illegal, she gets assigned to the war efforts at being a language translator. And so she knows I think 7 different dragon languages. And so she gets assigned to the war effort, and she learns a whole bunch of different things about the war effort and some dark conspiracies. If you like government conspiracies, if you like dragons, things of that nature, you're gonna love it. Underneath the cover of the Waterstones edition, look at that! Look at that foiling! It's freaking gorgeous. Oh, and it goes all the way around. It has a little cover on the back. And then the end paper's so gorgeous. And look, it just continues on. Books are so gorgeous. They're just art. It's art. But I gave it 5 stars. It was so riveting. It was so gorgeous. It felt very much, if you liked if you remember Babel by R.F. Kuang, you're gonna love this one. It's like Babel but with dragons. Next up, I had Dating and Dragons. I loved the first one, which was Dungeons and Drama. It's basically very similar to that one. Very cute, contemporary romance, circled around D&D. Basically, there's a D&D group. They do streaming of their D&D sessions. This girl who just moves in, they invite them to their sessions. Some cute little, like, romance ensues. It's really nice, very cozy, just contemporary romance. I gave it 4.25 stars. I really love it. I really hope they do more in this series. It's nice to have a little bit of a palate cleanser of just some nice, I can't keep, always reading the high fantasy complex novels. I need some palate cleansers once in a while of some nice, cute little contemporary romances once in a while. But I really enjoyed that one. And that one's pretty new. I think that one just came out last month. Some manga that I read this month. I actually read some manga in my ever-growing pile of manga. I read 2 volumes. I read 2 volumes of Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid Kana's Daily Life. I got him for Christmas from my friend. I love Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. I've been watching it with my friend. And I love Kana. I think she's so cute. She's just the most adorable little thing ever. I just think she's just so freaking, I just want to hug her. So they got me a couple little mangas of Kana, which I think is adorable. They're just so fun. They're just like little one-off shorts that follow Kana around with her friend. And they were fun. So I read both of those. I gave them 5 stars because they're cute. They're fun. Just, again, palette cleansers between all these different books of, like, high fantasy. It's just nice to have something to just give your mind a little bit of a brain break. The next one that I read after that was A Monsoon Rising, which was one of the books that I was really excited to get into. This is the book that's a sequel to the Hurricane Wars, if you remember from last year. So this is A Monsoon Rising. This is the Waterstones edition, so if you're used to the US cover, this is the UK cover, so if it looks a little different, that's why. So here's what it looks like. There's the edges. And then here is the cover. It's absolutely gorgeous with that teal and then the foiling. So freaking stunning. If you have not got on the Waterstones bandwagon, it's time to get on the Waterstones bandwagon. Join me. It's a good place to be. So it takes off right where we left off. So literally, I almost had to like pick up Hurricane Wars and like do a reread because I was like, man, I don't remember where the fuck we left off. Because there was no prepping, no anything. I was like, okay, great. But it takes off immediately where we left off. It continues on. Trying to see if I have my notes here, but it was just another sequel. One of the things I really enjoyed with this is I love the banter between these two. If you enjoy, trying to like think of how to describe it, if you enjoy Shadow and Bone, but you wanted Alina to choose the Darkling, this is the series for you. I don't know if that was like intentional on the author's part. It probably was. I feel like that was the author's intention, but yeah, if you wanted Alina to choose the Darkling in Shadow and Bone, this is the book. 'Cause yeah, definitely this dude, Darkling vibes. There wasn't a ton, there was less plot in this book. It felt more like they were working on the characters, which was fine. I feel like we got a lot of plot in the first book, so it was nice to get a little bit more character focused on the second book. And what did I write for that one? Oh, 4 stars. And then the last book on my list, which was actually the first book, the one I started out the year on, was The Perfect Marriage. I read this one because the sequel is coming out really soon. I think it's called The Perfect Divorce. And so this special collector's edition has like really cool edges with like the blood dripping down, which I think is sick looking. I forget if there's anything else on this. Oh yeah, cool. It's got like a cool naked hardcover. I love when books do that. Little special things. Oh, cool. The end papers are sick too. Sorry, I didn't really get a lot of chance to like look at this one. I literally bought it and then started reading it, and then after I was done, I stuck it in a pile in here. But yeah, basically we have we go back dual POV between the husband and the wife. Again, I won't spoil who actually what actually happened, but the husband is cheating on his wife, wakes up, and goes home, and then the person he was cheating on his wife with just suddenly is found dead. And he doesn't know how it happens, but he, you know, his mistress is found dead. And now the only person who can represent him is his wife, who is a lawyer. And we get to follow through the trial and the evidence and everything as they're trying to unravel who killed his mistress. And it is just, it's so intense. The trial, the murder mystery, the detective work. I was on the edge of my seat. Like, I've read a lot of murder mysteries. This one is going to be one of my favorites, and I am so excited for the sequel. Like, I can't wait. It's dropping pretty soon, and I'm not happy until it'll be in my hands. This is 5 stars. If you have not read this yet, go read it. If you love any murder mysteries, you need to read this one. All right. So that is all 17 books that I read in January. Oh, hi Laura. Thank you for joining. So that is all 17 books. Thank you guys for joining the live. We're going to call it there, but yeah. The next book that I'm reading, I guess I'll just start with what's my first book for February. So I'm this far, if I should show, you can see kind of right there my bookmark. I'm that far into The Stars Are Dying. It's fine. We'll see if that changes. It's okay. It started out really good, and now I'm just kind of losing interest. It's gorgeous though. Like that cover is stunning. I don't know why they would hide that kind of cover underneath a dust jacket. I feel like that should have been the dust jacket. But that's what I'm reading right now. The edges are gorgeous. This is just the standard Amazon edition, by the way. So if they still have it, go for it. The sequel's coming out. I don't know. I think it's coming out like it's already out. Maybe already out. So yeah, that's what I'm reading right now. Have fun and enjoy your February. I'll be posting a video probably shortly. So anyway, bye.